Have you ever noticed how life has a peculiar way of placing the exact answer in front of us right when we're on the verge of giving up? Sometimes we stumble across a message not by intention, but by timing. A whisper when the world is loud, a spark in a room full of darkness. And that's not a coincidence. That's what I call divine alignment, when you're finally ready to receive what your soul has been too stubborn to hear. That's why you found this video now. Because something inside you, perhaps something long buried, knows it's time to change. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, you see, I don't believe in chance. I believe in design. And the truth is, your entire life has been shaping you for this moment. Every loss, every delay, every heartbreak wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. Preparing you to finally hear what I'm about to say and act on it. Because transformation doesn't begin when the world changes. It begins the moment you change. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly believed you were on the right path? If you hesitated to answer, then listen closely. You're not alone. Most people drift through life like ships without anchors, pushed by waves of fear, doubt, and the expectations of others. They survive, but they don't live. They function, but they don't thrive. And worst of all, they postpone their true potential until one day. But let me be clear, one day is the biggest lie ever told. The world isn't waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to begin. Now, let's talk plainly. Because I won't give you sugar-coated motivation. I'll give you truth, the kind that pierces your comfort like a blade, because it needs to. And here is the first truth. You are where you are because of the standards you've accepted. Not because of fate, not because of your parents. Not because of what happened last year. You are here because of what you've tolerated from yourself. When I was young, I didn't have wealth. I had clarity, I had a notebook, a vision, and an obsession with discipline. Not because I was extraordinary, but because I understood something most people never realize. If you don't design your life with precision, it will be built by your indecision. And indecision is a cruel architect. You've been taught to chase money, but you were never taught to master your state of mind. And that's where most people fail. Because without emotional discipline, every dollar you earn is one mistake away from disappearing. Without purpose, every success feels empty. Without structure, every opportunity turns into a burden. That's why wealth begins with the inner, not the bank account. Let's start with the foundation, your mind. Right now, your thoughts are either bricks or bombs. They are building your future or destroying it silently. And you won't even realize until years have passed and you look around, asking, how did I get here? But I'll tell you now so you never have to ask again. You arrived at every outcome in your life by the habits you practiced in silence. The way you wake up, the way you speak to yourself, the things you choose to repeat every day. These are not small things. These are your destiny on autopilot. That's why, today, we disrupt the pattern. We stop blaming, we stop wishing. We begin building. I want you to picture something for me. Imagine walking into a massive hall. At the center, there's a mirror, the kind that reflects your face, but your future. And in it, you don't see who you are. You see who you could be if only you stopped delaying your greatness. That version of you, it's not fantasy, it's your blueprint. And starting now, I will teach you how to become it. But I'll warn you, there is a cost, not in money, but in sacrifice. You will have to give up the version of yourself that keeps making excuses. You will have to say goodbye to the comfort of mediocrity. You will have to face your fears with no one holding your hand. Because true power isn't given. It's claimed. And the first step is silence. You must learn to silence the noise of the world, the opinions, the distractions, the endless scrolls, the validations. Turn it all off. Because when the world is loud, your soul gets drowned. And when you're not connected to your soul, you cannot lead your life. You'll follow everyone else's. Now listen carefully to what I'm about to say. A man who cannot govern his peasant emotions will never govern anything else. I built an empire not because I avoided emotion, but because I ruled it. I didn't act on anger, I converted it into fuel. I didn't fear failure. I dissected it like a scientist and used it to build a better machine. I didn't escape solitude, I sought it, because in silence I could hear God. In solitude I could see my strategy. That's what I want you to do starting today. Not tomorrow, not when life calms down, but now, right now. Pause this video if you must. Go to the quietest place you can find, and ask yourself, who am I really becoming? Because nothing else matters more than that answer. When you clarify who you are becoming, everything else becomes a decision, not a debate. The habits, the diet, the money, the relationships, they either serve the vision or they don't, and if they don't, they go. This is the clarity you've been missing. The clarity that turns doubt into momentum. The clarity that makes discipline feel like devotion. You will not find freedom in escape. You will find it in structure, in systems, in rituals, in repetition. That is how a man becomes unstoppable, not by dreaming, but by drilling the same fundamentals until they become identity. Let me tell you a secret. Every successful man you admire is not more gifted than you. He's simply more committed. He doesn't quit on Monday and start again on Friday. He doesn't beg for motivation. He trains his mind to act even when he doesn't feel like it, because he understands this principle: consistency beats inspiration. And now I ask you, are you ready to become that man? If your answer is yes, then comment below, I'm done waiting. Declare it, because declarations ignite commitment. And once you declare, the only thing left is to execute. Good. Now that you have declared, you're done waiting. Let's move deeper into the mindset that will transform you, not someday, not when luck arrives, but now. Too many men and women fall into the trap of impatience. They want overnight success. They want the jackpot without the grind. They want the empire without the foundation. But I tell you this with absolute certainty. Real wealth is forged in the slow fire of discipline, not the quick flash of luck. I built my fortune by mastering patience, not the passive waiting, but the active patience, the kind where you work relentlessly, planning decades ahead while others chase momentary pleasures. When others rushed into rash deals, I paused to gather data, to analyze risks, to align every move with a long-term vision. That is the essence of strategic patience. You must learn this lesson well. The greatest victories come not from the first move, but from the 1,000th move executed with precision and calm. Let me tell you a story. Early in my career, I faced fierce competition, cutthroat rivals who wanted to destroy me, to take what I was building. It would have been easy to react in anger or fear, but I refused. Instead, I focused on efficiency, cutting waste, improving operations, tightening management. I sought out every inefficiency like a hunter, eliminating it without mercy. This principle, efficiency, is your secret weapon in any era, in today's world. Efficiency means something more than just cutting costs. It means leveraging technology, automating what is repetitive, streamlining decisions with data, and above all, focusing your energy only on what creates real value. If something doesn't move your vision forward, it's waste. Cut it out mercilessly. This is why I advise every aspiring leader: dominate your sector before you dream of expansion. Don't be distracted by shiny objects or quick wins. Build one business, one fortress that commands your full attention. Master the details so well that your competitors cannot touch you. Once you hold that position, growth becomes natural, not forced. But be warned, growth that is not managed with discipline is a recipe for collapse. Many fall into the trap of chasing size over strength. They hire too fast, spend recklessly, and lose control of their systems. I lived through those dangers. I learned that scale without rigor is like a ship without a rudder. Your challenge is to build not just bigger, but better. To build a business that stands firm through every storm, every crisis, every unexpected attack. And yes, storms will come. You will face times when everything seems against you: economic downturns, betrayals, failures. In those moments, many give up or panic. But not the man who understands this. Crisis is opportunity in disguise. I built my empire through crises. Every downturn was a chance to buy assets cheaply, to consolidate power, to outmaneuver weaker competitors. While others fled, I advanced. While others cut corners, I doubled down on integrity and quality, because reputation is your most valuable currency. This leads to a truth too few understand. Integrity isn't just moral, it's strategic. In the long run, a good name will open doors money can't buy. It will protect you from ruin and multiply your influence beyond measure. Build your reputation as if your life depended on it, because it does. Now, listen carefully. True power is not taken by force. It is earned through trust. The empire you build will be shaped by the people you surround yourself with. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with those better than you, those who push you beyond your limits. Cut ties with toxic influences and those who drain your spirit. Your environment shapes your destiny. You are the average of the 5 closest people in your life. So choose your circle not by convenience, but by ambition and values. In all things, be humble. Humility is not weakness. It is the seed of wisdom. It allows you to learn, to adapt, to grow, without ego's blinding haze. Remember, a proud man closes his ears. A humble man opens his mind. I want you to hold on to this now. Every decision you make, every action you take, is a vote for the person you want to become. When you invest in yourself, your skills, your health, your faith, you strengthen your foundation. When you squander your energy on distractions, you erode it. Discipline is your greatest ally. Without discipline, talent and opportunity are wasted. With discipline, even modest abilities multiply into unstoppable force. So start today to build your ritual, small, consistent habits that align with your grand vision. Wake up early. Read daily, track your money, exercise your body, meditate on your purpose. Each of these is a brick in the fortress of your future. And finally, embrace generosity. Give freely, not because you want recognition, but because true wealth is measured by what you share. Philanthropy is the crown of a well-built life. It connects your wealth to a higher purpose, transforms capital into lasting impact, and secures a legacy beyond dollars. Remember this: the richest man is the one who enriches the lives of others. I could tell you much more about negotiation, about managing risk, about faith in providence, but the foundation is laid now. Your transformation begins with the choice to take control of your mind, your actions, your future. So, I ask you again, will you choose discipline over distraction, vision over comfort, legacy over short-term gain? If yes, then declare it now. I am ready to build my empire. Because the world is waiting, and your moment is here. Very well. Now that you have committed to building your empire and declared your first habit, we must dive into the unseen battles, the battles of the mind and spirit that determine whether you thrive or simply survive. You see, wealth is never purely financial. It is first and foremost emotional and spiritual. Many men acquire mountains of money but remain poor in peace, poor in purpose, poor in joy. Don't be one of them. Mastery of emotion is the true cornerstone of lasting success. I learned this early in life. When I was just a young man starting out, I faced setbacks that would have crushed the average soul. Rejections, failed deals, market crashes, they were plentiful. Yet, I survived because I refused to be mastered by my feelings. Fear, anger, envy, these are destructive forces unless harnessed. When you allow fear to dictate your decisions, you shrink your potential before you even begin. When you act out of anger, you destroy relationships and burn bridges that take years to rebuild. When envy blinds you, you waste energy chasing illusions. Instead of creating your own reality, the first step is awareness. Know your emotions without judgment. Recognize when fear whispers, "Don't try," and say, "I will try anyway." Feel anger rising. then channel it into focused effort instead of reckless words. Emotional discipline is a muscle. It strengthens with use. Start by pausing before every major decision. Take a breath, step back, ask yourself, am I acting out of clarity or chaos? This pause is a gift, a moment of power. Most people skip it and suffer the consequences. Not you. You are learning the power of control, the power of patience, the power of calm in the storm. Next, cultivate faith not just in God or a higher power, but faith in the process, in your ability, in your destiny. Faith is the fuel that keeps the flame alive when all logic screams to quit. Without faith, you are vulnerable to every setback. With faith, every failure becomes a lesson. Every delay, a test of resolve. I want you to understand this deeply. Faith and work are partners. One without the other is useless. You cannot pray for success and then sit idle. You cannot hope for blessings and neglect preparation. Your faith must move your feet. Here is a secret I have learned over decades. God blesses the diligent. That is why discipline and faith walk hand in hand. One disciplines your actions, the other disciplines your heart. In your journey, you will face voices that say you're not enough. You'll face moments of doubt that threaten to paralyze you. But remember, those voices are lies. They are shadows, cast by your fears. You are more powerful than you know. Your thoughts are the architects of your future, but your beliefs are the foundation. If you believe you will fail, then failure is certain. But if you believe you will rise, then nothing can stop you. Live every day, acting as if your success is already guaranteed. Walk with the certainty that the universe is aligning in your favor, even when you cannot see it yet. This mindset will magnetize opportunities. Doors will open that you did not even know existed. People will begin to trust and follow you not because of flashy promises, but because of your calm confidence and steady resolve. Now, let's discuss the practical side of this power. Decision-making. Ability to make decisions quickly, firmly, and rationally is what separates leaders from followers. In my early years, I learned the value of saying no. It is easy to say yes to every opportunity, to every deal, to every request. But saying yes to everything is a path to chaos and dilution of focus. You must become a master of selectivity. Ask yourself, does this move bring me closer to my vision? Does it leverage my strengths? Does it protect my resources? If the answer is no, then say no without hesitation. This is not just business advice, it is life advice. Your time, your energy, your attention are the most precious currencies you have. Guard them fiercely. Remember, a fortress is only as strong as its weakest wall. Finally, let me speak on legacy. The wealth you build is not only for you, it is a trust and inheritance to your family, your community, your world. True wealth carries responsibility. The larger your fortune, the greater your duty to use it wisely and generously. Philanthropy is not charity, it's strategy for permanence. When you give, you sow seeds for a harvest, far greater than dollars can measure. You build goodwill, you inspire others, and you create a cycle of abundance. This is how empires endure, not by hoarding wealth, but by sharing it with purpose. So I challenge you, build wealth with a mission beyond yourself. Let your fortune be a force for good. And when doubt creeps in, when obstacles rise, remember this moment when you chose to act, to change, to become more than circumstance allowed. Because that choice, my friend, is the true beginning of your empire. Good. Now that you have faced your fear and named it, the next step is to build on that courage and focus on the foundation of lasting success, constructing an empire that is not only powerful today but endures for generations to come. This requires more than ambition or dreams. It demands a clear strategy, rigorous discipline, and unwavering purpose. Let me make something very clear from the start. Wealth built on shaky ground is fragile. It crumbles under pressure. Wealth built on discipline, vision, and purpose stands firm, weathering every storm. If you desire true legacy, You must build on a foundation so solid that no external force can topple it. Your empire begins with your business model, and this cannot be overemphasized, must be simple, efficient, and scalable. Complexity is the greatest enemy of execution. The more complicated your operations, the higher the chance something will break. Complexity breeds confusion, waste, and indecision. I have seen it time and again. Businesses overwhelmed by their own structures, losing sight of their core purpose, hemorrhaging resources without realizing it. When I built Standard Oil, I did not chase flashy ventures or risky diversifications. Instead, I mastered the art of simplification. We controlled every step from extraction to refining, transportation, and distribution. This vertical integration allowed us to squeeze out inefficiencies, reduce costs, and guarantee quality at every turn. Our focus was not on growth for its own sake, but on dominance through precision. In today's world, this principle remains vital. You must focus relentlessly on what you do best. Identify your core strength, your unique advantage, and build around it. Everything else, outsource it, automate it, or eliminate it. Your time and resources are precious. Spend them where they yield the highest return. But how do you know what to focus on? The answer lies in data. Measure everything. Numbers never lie. They reveal the truth about your operations, where you are losing money, where hide, where opportunities wait. Use facts, not feelings, as the basis for your decisions. In my experience, cold hard facts, combined with relentless discipline, create an unstoppable business machine. This rigor in management is what will give you a competitive edge no one can replicate. Because, while others waste time chasing distractions, you will be building a fortress. Next, understand the importance of your team. No empire is built alone. Even the greatest man needs allies, partners, and loyal workers. But be careful, your team must not just be competent. They must share your vision and values. Without alignment, even the best skills fail. Empower your people with clear roles, high expectations, and accountability. Clarity breeds ownership. When your team knows exactly what is expected, they perform with confidence and purpose. Encourage innovation, but never at the expense of results. Creativity without discipline is chaos. Leadership is not about popularity or pleasing others. It is about responsibility. When I led my company, I put the needs of my employees first, not out of sentiment, but strategic wisdom. Loyal, motivated workers are the backbone of efficiency and quality. They are the gears that keep your machine running smoothly. Invest in your team. Train them continuously. Reward excellence. Listen to their ideas and concerns. Build a culture of trust and relentless pursuit of excellence. Your people will mirror your standards. If you tolerate mediocrity, so will they. If you demand excellence, they will rise to the challenge. Now, let us turn to the lifeblood of your empire - money. Always remember, profit is not a dirty word. It is the measure of value created. Never apologize for making money when you deliver true value. However, do not pursue profit at the expense of integrity or sustainability. Wealth built on exploitation or deception is fleeting and dangerous. Reinvest your earnings wisely. Do not squander profits on vanity or instant gratification. Keep a margin for unforeseen challenges. This financial discipline will keep your empire standing firm, even when the winds howl and the markets turn hostile. Avoid unnecessary debt. Especially for consumption, debt can be a powerful tool for growth, but a lethal trap if misused. It is a double-edged sword that must be wielded with caution and clear purpose. Keep meticulous records. Know every dollar that enters and leaves your business. Transparency and control over your finances allow you to prevent crises before they arise. It is better to confront reality early than to be blindsided by problems. Finally, embrace patience. The market will not reward haste. Your competitors may rush, but your steadiness will win. Understand this: empires are not built in days or months. They are built over years, decades of consistent, strategic effort. The world does not crown the impatient. You, however, are beginning the very first chapter of your story. Now, ask yourself, what legacy do you want to leave? Is it one of fleeting riches and forgotten names? Or one of lasting impact, transformation, and a life well lived? A fortune well stewarded? Decide. Now, with clarity and courage, I want you to think deeply about this. Your legacy is not just wealth. It is the sum of your character, your influence, and the lives you touch. You have taken the brave step of naming inefficiencies and committing to change. Now, we must deepen your understanding of the nature of power, influence, and resilience, pillars that uphold every lasting empire. To begin, power is not a prize to be seized in a single battle. It is a force cultivated daily, like a garden that requires constant tending. The man who seeks quick dominance without nurturing his foundations will see his empire collapse like a house of cards. True power is built on consistency, control, and moral clarity. Let me tell you about control over your resources, control over your mind, and control over your reputation. You must learn to command your resources ruthlessly. This does not mean greed. It means stewardship. Every dollar, every asset, every relationship is a tool. Use them wisely. Do not allow them to slip through your fingers on whims or distractions. Measure your returns not just in immediate profit, but in long-term value and stability. Control over your mind is even more crucial. The greatest empires were lost not because of enemies, but because their leaders lost control of themselves. A man who cannot govern his emotions will be governed by them. Fear, greed, anger, they are powerful currents that can drag even the strongest into ruin. Master yourself first. Develop habits that reinforce calm, focus, and clarity. Practice the pause before reaction. When confronted with adversity, step back and assess before responding. This discipline will become your greatest weapon. Now, regarding reputation, it is fragile and priceless. It can take decades to build and moments to destroy. Guard your name as if your life depended on it, because, in business and life, it often does. Speak the truth, honor your commitments, and conduct yourself with integrity, even when no one is watching. People may forget your words, but they never forget how you made them feel or whether they could trust you. This is why I say, wealth without character is the greatest poverty. Next, understand that influence is the currency of leadership. You can have money without influence, but influence without money is fleeting. Together, they build empires. To cultivate influence, you must serve others, not from weakness, but from strength. Lead with purpose. Help others solve their problems. Deliver value beyond expectation. When people see that you care for their success as much as your own, they become allies, advocates, and partners. This brings us to resilience, the ability to endure and thrive through trials. No journey worth taking is without setbacks. You will face failures, betrayals, market crashes, and personal losses. The man who wins is the man who keeps going when others quit. Resilience is forged through mindset. Believe deeply in your purpose. When the storms rage, remember why you started. Hold your vision close and let it guide you through uncertainty. I once said, I always tried to turn every disaster into an opportunity. This is not naive optimism. It is strategic perseverance. When the market falls, do not flee. Look for where others are weak and seize the advantage. Every crisis is a chance to consolidate, innovate, and emerge stronger. To build resilience, cultivate flexibility as well. Rigidity breaks under pressure. Adaptability endures. Learn from mistakes quickly. Adjust your course, but never your vision. Finally, let me speak about legacy once more, not just the wealth you leave behind, but the values, the culture, and the impact. Your fortune is a trust for future generations. Your actions today will echo through the lives of your children, your community, and your world. Use your wealth to uplift. Invest in education, health, innovation, and justice. Philanthropy is not charity, it's strategic cultivation of a better world. Remember, true wealth is the power to make a positive difference. Now, we arrive at the final truth that every man seeking lasting wealth and legacy must understand. The kingdom you build is born of your daily habits, your unwavering character, and the purpose that guides your every step. There are no shortcuts, no magic formulas, only discipline, vision, and relentless commitment. Your success will not be measured by sudden windfalls, but by the quiet power of small, consistent actions repeated faithfully every day. These invisible habits are the true architects of your destiny. When I was a young man, I embraced habits that became my foundation. Rising early to seize the day, reading to sharpen my mind, tracking every cent to master my finances, seeking stillness through prayer to steady my spirit, and building relationships that lifted me beyond myself. These were not burdens, they were gifts I gave to myself. Your mind is fertile soil. What you plant, their discipline, knowledge, faith will grow into your future. Neglect it, and weeds of doubt and distraction will choke your dreams. The man who rules his habits rules his life. The man who rules his life rules his destiny. I urge you now to take inventory of your daily actions. Choose one habit that aligns with your highest vision and commit to it fiercely. Not for a week, not for a month, but until it becomes part of who you are. This is how legacies are born. Do not be deceived by the allure of instant success or the noise of distraction. The empire you seek will come to you only through patience, discipline, and integrity. Guard your reputation as you would your greatest treasure. Lead with moral clarity. Build influence through service and trust. When storms command, they will stand firm. Use setbacks as stepping stones to greater heights. Above all, remember that wealth is not your final goal. It is the means by which you create impact. Use your fortune to uplift, to innovate, to give back. True wealth enriches not only your life but the lives of others. Your legacy is waning. It is written by every choice you make today. Will you choose to build an empire that lasts? Will you choose to become the man worthy of it? The power lies within you. Your moment is now. Make your mark with courage. Live with purpose, and rise with unshakable faith. Before we part, I ask you to declare in the comments your one daily habit you will commit to building your empire. This simple act is the seed of your transformation. Share this video with those who need to hear it most. Let us build a community of men and women dedicated to lasting greatness. Subscribe and join me on this journey of mastery and legacy. Because the empire you desire is not found, it is built. And you, my friend, have the power to build it.